Friend, there has been a question that's been lurking in my mind, and that question is, what if they are forgiven? If someone did something that you did not agree with, and it may have even been years ago, and you may have even thought that it was sinful, and you have somehow categorized that person as one that does this action habitually, but you know of only once that this deed was done, and you don't even really know that person's story. And maybe you think you do. Still, that's only your opinion. Then have you not been sitting in judgment against that person? How do I know if that person feels the same way about their actions as I feel about them? I know that the Holy Spirit convicts me when I need to make confession and I need forgiveness. How do I know that the Holy Spirit hasn't worked that way in that person's life? Friends, you see, people change. They don't stay the same if they respond to the nudging of the Holy Spirit. They will not stay in that state that you judged them in. How do I know if that person hasn't asked for forgiveness and that God hasn't restored them? How does that person know that you have received reconciliation? God does not play favorites. If he forgives you, he forgives the other. But the key is to believe that he is as gracious to the other as he is to you. By keeping in your mind that the other person is in a sinful state, places you in a position that you have no right to be in. There is only one righteous and just judge, God. So, what if they are forgiven? What now? How do I know that they are forgiven? Friends, that is not your business. You can't forgive sins. Only God can do that. You must forgive the person for offending you. But it's the Holy Spirit that convicts. Our work is to love and to serve. One way that to know that you are forgiven is to pray the Lord's Prayer. And if you ask the Lord for forgiveness in the same way that you have forgiven, and you truly have forgiven, then there is no good reason anymore why you cannot be reconciled to the other person. Is it possible that the other person has prayed the Lord's Prayer and truly and sincerely has been forgiven because he has forgiven in the same way that God forgave his sins? Friend, it is possible that someone has tried and tried and tried and asked for reconciliation, but you have refused or not responded. By not forgiving and reconciling does not keep that person in that sinful state where you judged them. And so, the problem is just with you, just in your heart, and just in your mind, not with the other person. It is truly an awakening to find out that I'm the one that is not changing. It is a rude awakening to realize that it's not my job to change someone else. When I realize that this journey I'm on in my mind hasn't changed anyone, not even myself, then I know I'm not forgiven. If the other person is moving forward and his life is bearing fruit, then you know he's been forgiven. My job is not to fix others. My job is just to love them.